So we're on 32nd Street, K-Town, Manhattan. It's been a long time since we've been here, but this is really the epicenter of the old Koreatown of New York City. 32nd between Broadway and Fifth Avenue. We're on the other side of Fifth, on the east side, outside of a restaurant. Deuki Hong's the chef, and it's like a great barbecue place. This kid's 25 years old. He's on fire. When he opened last year, this place just blew up. I mean, everybody came, right? You got Zimmern coming, you got Bourdain coming, you got David Chang coming. They're all tweeting on Instagram. The place is just an instant hit. He also wrote a book called Koreatown, which is about Koreatowns all through America with Matt Rodbard. We're gonna have them both on the show today. We're gonna showcase the restaurant, do some demos, eat, play. We're gonna go shopping at H Mart. We're gonna head back to Deuki's apartment and make some Korean food from scratch that you can do at home. That's what's coming up next.
I'm Mike Colameco, industry insider. Been in the business my whole life, and I know what it takes to succeed. Each week we'll take you into real kitchens, filmed in real time. Backstage passes to a day in the life of chefs, restaurateurs, and their teams. The competition's fierce. Careers, life savings, and reputations hang in the balance. These are my people, and this is their passion. And that's what's next on Mike Colameco's Real Food.
Mike Colameco's Real Food is brought to you by the continuous, generous support of the following underwriters.
Extra virgin olive oil from Colavita, an Italian family brand.
Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line, designed for preparing meals at home.
All right, chef, pork belly. Big pieces of pork belly.
Pork belly, exactly. It's probably one of the most eaten cuts of meat in Korea.
You ever go to Peter Luger or Keen's and have the bacon?
Yeah.
Same idea.
Same,
it's
exactly.
these big honking thick slices, and it's like a heart attack on a plate.
Yeah.
And every time I go there, I order it. But it's like perfect with booze. It's like bring that my Negroni together.
Belly and soju is kind of like the classic combination.
All right.
So, you know, what I'm looking for here is even browning.
In the industry of full disclosure, my wife's Korean. So I've been eating Korean food via her in Manhattan for most of my adult life. But I think there was this real cultural resistance for a long time because the Korean restaurants here on 32nd Street, we're cooking for Koreans. This is our cuisine. We're not cooking for white faces. We're cooking for us. You tell me, why has Korean food finally crossed over? Because we've been waiting for this. I mean, I have been asked this question a million times, and I'm like, I don't know when. Because the Koreans aren't moving towards us. We're going to have to come to them.
You're right. Our parents' generation, at least my parents' generation, we weren't like, oh, like what would this critic like? Or what would, you know, this, you know, like they don't care. You know, like we miss, we miss our food from our home. You know, so we're going to create a restaurant. You know, if you know, you come in, great. If you don't, I don't care. You know, I like this, and this is what we're gonna eat. So a lot of things have changed. Actually, is that now, kind of, our parents' generation is kind of taking a step back, and now their kids are kind of growing up, and now they're kind of maybe my age or a little bit older, and they're like, oh wait, this food is really good. I want to introduce it to my white friend over there, or my Hispanic friend, and now it's like that's the norm. I'm just ready to cut it right now. Nice bite-sized pieces.
And in concert with that, you're seeing chefs like Deuki, who are Korean American, who've worked in traditional Western kitchens, who are finally realizing, hey, I've got this great, you know, back pocket full of recipes.
So I would say the first one, a little bit of just salt, just to taste the pork. A bit of toasted sea salt.
What not to like?
No.
All these chefs who are seeing the gateway and seeing the kind of lane to cook this traditional Korean food for the masses without compromising flavor. We're not seeing kimchi lasagna on these menus.
So traditional, almost every Korean restaurant in K-Town would have their version of scallion pancakes. What I was focusing on when I was making this dish, crispy, and I kind of want like a pizza, like kind of thick, like a deep dish pizza. So scallions, onions, our seafood, which is calamari, clams, and some shrimp. Mix it all together. Maybe some salt. And this batter is literally just flour, water, a little bit of salt also here.
You wrote this great book, Koreatown, which kind of drew me into the whole. I mean, I knew who you are, but you know, what did these guys do? Because it's such a great homage to Korean cuisine in America. But you're a young dude, man. You're like 25 and you're on fire. What led you into the culinary world?
I started really young. I played baseball. My baseball coach was actually Junior Porn's for the Myriad Restaurant Group's partner back when, opening up Nobu, Tribeca Grill, kind of like the iconic.
Bonadies?
Yeah.
Mike Bonadies.
Mike Bonadies.
Yeah.
He kind of got me started. He was just like, hey, I was good friends with his son, same baseball team. He heard that I was interested in restaurants. He was like, hey, if you want to try out the restaurant thing, let me know. I took him up on his offer, and after that, it was like, and I just never left. He was like, if you like it, stay. If not, who cares?
So you started in high school?
I started in high school, so my...
With Drew at Tribeca, one of the places?
No, Centrico just opened up with Chef Aaron Sanchez.
Sure.
And literally 2 months into opening, got to go in there and really just work. When you're 15 and you get to work with guys that are 30 and 20, they're just cooler than you, right? And you just feel like, oh man,
right.
I'm a part of this fraternity and I'm part of this club. So I was there pretty much, every day after high school. My winter breaks, my summer breaks were spent there. We get this oil, good amount of oil, as you can see.
Yeah.
And we wait for it to smoke a little bit, light smoke, turn off the heat, and we just go in there.
And then cooking school at some point?
Chef Aaron was like, hey, this is great, but you need a formal training. So literally Googled best culinary school and heard of Culinary Institute of America. And somehow got in, and yeah.
If you pay, they'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Lay it out flat, watch your fingers.
And I've had this with oysters in it. I mean, there's a million variations on this, right?
Kimchi,
oysters.
Or just regular scallions.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get out, came to Manhattan, you worked where?
I was at Momofuku.
With David.
Yeah, right when he opened up, moved to the big space, the new big noodle bar. Needed more help, hired some culinary kids, and I was just one of them. And it was great working at Noodle Bar, just seeing the volume and then kind of seeing the rise of an empire, really.
Yep.
And just seeing how he works, his ideology on food, his philosophy on how to just manage people. I think that's what I really took away from it. I was making pork buns for 6 months. It was awesome.
You got really good.
Yeah, and I don't eat one for
ever again.
So for us, we really focus on really achieve that kind of crust. Same theory as the pork belly, low and slow, and really get that crust forming. It takes us a little bit of time. So we want to keep this pretty, I don't want to say bland, but I don't want a crazy amount of salt or crazy, I just want to taste the seafood and the scallion.
And crispy, crunchy.
Crispy,
Right.
crunchy. It's all about the texture. The flavor really comes, or it's really brought out when you add that soy dipping sauce.
Your restaurant here, pronounce the name of for me, right?
Baekjong.
Which means?
The butcher in Korean, yeah.
So you're here in K-Town. I mean, you're on 32nd Street, which is hysterical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now there's really great Korean food in Flushing. Palisades Park Fort Lee's on fire.
Absolutely.
But this has always been this is the original K-Town for the New York metro area. And it's, I mean, you're kind of 100 yards east of where it used to be, between 5th Avenue and Broadway, in that stretch on 32nd.
100%.
But you find yourself here in this great place, and 1 year you're open.
Yeah, we're a little over a year, and yeah, we just got into our first year. It's a big anomaly, I guess, in the restaurant world, but we've gotten an incredible amount of support from definitely the industry,
Right.
and they've just kind of embraced us, and we've kind of took it forward from there.
Because you'd show up. I mean, social media is sort of the driver so much these days, and I would remember I'm, reluctantly being pulled into the 21st century in social media, kicking and screaming. But having said that, I would notice these. You look at your Instagram, and there was all of the Daniel Hum, David Chang, Bourdain, Danny Bowen from Mission. I mean, all these kind of rock star A-listers were coming to this restaurant, putting it on their Instagram feeds, and I mean, you can't get better advertisement than that.
100%. I mean, at least for me, someone that's I still consider myself a student of the game, and like you said, it's really the all-stars of your industry coming in and eating at your house. I mean, what more could you ask for? I just kind of, the whole point of the Korean barbecue is you kind of grill at the table, so I kind of grill at the table. Kind of they think I'm cooking for them, but I'm actually just picking their brain and just eavesdropping in their conversation and just learning from them.
All right, you're rolling? I'm going to go for the crunchiest bit.
Oh, me too.
Sorry.
Punch and bang.
Oh, man. As cooks, it's everything we love. So it's crunchy, doughy, crispy. The scallion gives it that really onion, vegetal thing, and then every other bite, some piece of seafood.
yeah.
A tentacle of a squid, a piece of a shrimp.
Super important.
Like I said, float some oysters in here.
I really think that chefs come here because of not just the quality of the meat, but really it's where you go after a shift.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. Where do I go and have actually really good food? It's not that common in Manhattan these days.
Back in my generation, in the 80s, when you were a young cook, same idea. I mean, you get off work at 12, 1 in the morning, you don't want to see a veal chop or foie gras or lobster. And you want pizza, and this, for whatever reason, this street never closed. And historically it was like that. Like before you guys were born, when Gameoko opened, those places were open till like 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know how they got the
24
license.
hours.
It was basically 24 hours.
Essentially, yeah.
So you could do your shift at the restaurant, go home, shower, go out to bars, go to a club, and on your way home, go to 32nd Street and eat like a king.
And have the best meal possible at that hour. I mean, really, and the food was really textbook.
So Deuki, talk to me about this next dish.
Next dish is a spicy stir-fried squid dish that we do with some noodles. Yes, we're a meat-focused restaurant, but we did want some seafood. We wanted something spicy too, just a nice little appetizer. So for us, we're gonna start it real quick, a little bit of oil. We're just gonna stir fry veg. We got some cabbage, carrots, and some onions. Super simple. Usually don't tell people, but we save some of the pork fat, and we use some of the pork fat in there too. So it's not completely
Whatever.
seafoody.
Yeah, whatever the word is we're looking for.
Whatever that is. To really get that spice, we could add a little bit of chilies, but for me, I actually like using chili oil. I think it cooks the squid really nice. For us, we just cut it up, pretty much calamari, right?
Good fish, man. Sustainable, local, delicious.
Yeah.
That's chili oil.
Yep, some nice chili oil.
Look at that color.
I have the sauce, Korean chili paste, the same chili paste that we talked about.
Gochujang.
Gochujang, some soy sauce, sesame oil, sesame seeds. We have a lot of pureed fruits in there. A lot of garlic, ginger, Asian pears, apples, onions. So once again, that whole going back to Koreans aren't so keen on using straight sugar.
Right.
They want to get sweetness from anything else possible.
Yeah. Scoop all that sauce out. Just super neutral flavor too.
Yeah. Just kind of because it's got a good amount of flavor.
Right.
Good
It's like
amount
a
of heat.
sponge for the sauce.
Yep.
No, I go to Gangso all my life, and it's like they light the grill, they bring the meat, they leave you alone. Like you cook yourself.
Absolutely.
You're the other way. Why is that? Is this how it's done elsewhere in Korea, or is this just you bringing that to the table?
I just think for us, we going back on the quality of our meat. I mean, we spend a good amount of resources on getting the best quality meat possible. We don't assume that our customers know how to cook a piece of meat,
Thank you.
which is kind of a safe bet. And for us, we'd rather do it. Our servers are essentially half line cooks, in the fact that they have to go through about 3 weeks of just meat training.
I was about to say, because you're hiring from the front of the house, not the back of the house.
Yeah.
And yet you're saying, oh, by the way, you have to cook.
Exactly.
Which is like no one does that.
This is a ribeye.
What I was gonna say, what's kind of meat's ribeye? Okay.
Ribeye ate up. This mix right here is black pepper, salt, a little bit of sugar, and some sesame seeds. So season it with some sesame oil.
Bit of the seasoned salt.
Give it a good mix. You can tell this meat is super chilled. So by the time it gets to the table, it'll be really chilled as possible.
Yeah, almost frozen looking.
Almost frozen looking, exactly.
These pears are like really watery, really crunchy, really textural.
For us, we keep this dish super simple. And then a raw egg.
The server would do this.
The server will do this. Break up the egg yolk, some more Asian pears, like you said, for that also for that sweetness, but also for that texture. Really simple, really mild. It's not as strong as you would think.
And this is classic. I mean, all the Korean restaurants over the years have some variation of a beef tartare.
Exactly.
Everywhere I go.
One of the things, back to sort of you and the Chang connection, David makes this point, and I'm seeing it with the guys like Jonathan at Feng Tu, Danny to some extent at Mission. You have these Asian Americans that are sort of vamping on their cultural history, whether it's Chinese American or Korean American, and there's this sort of old trope that food has to be cheap. Because I know I can go to Chinatown, and I know there's places where for $4.99 I can get a fried pork chop over rice or sliced up. So that's the price point, right? And then I go to somewhere else and there's like $18.99. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But they're using great ingredients. So I snuck in. We came here today. I've eaten here before. Thank you. Great meal. And before you're getting ready, I sneak in the walk-in box. I'm like, I put my glasses on. I always go in walk-in boxes. This is what I do. I'm a chef.
You're welcome. Yeah, go for it.
So I go in, and sure enough, I mean, the meat's in there, and it's stamped, and it's prime. Like, you're using prime meat. You're probably, and I probably say you are the only guy in this stretch of town that's using prime meat.
After doing the fine dining bit for a little bit, I was like, I just want to go back to food that I genuinely like eating. And I think that's Korean food for me. And you're right, like it has a stigma, especially Asian food as a whole, I feel like, except Japanese food. Because with the rise of sushi and just the quality. But, for us, I don't know how to cook without good quality ingredients. Like, why not use, why are we using choice? Someone explain that to me.
One of the great things about the Koreatown cookbook is it's a cookbook. Besides being a guidebook, it's kind of both things.
Yeah.
And it comes with these great recipes. So we're going to go to H Mart on 32nd Street. We're going to do some shopping, and we're going to head back to your apartment and make 3 or 4 dishes from the book that you can do at home.
Yeah, no, and it's great because I was actually thinking about it on my walk here. Yeah, I was like, this is like a throwback to how we actually made the book.
Yeah.
We went to H Mart, we went to our apartment and
Lugged up the bags up the steps as you'll see.
So this is literally
Sorry for cameraman.
how we did it. What is it, 2-3 years ago? Yeah. So this is great.
So you came to the city in '98?
Yeah, came here, first time in '98, moved in '02. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, even then, this place never shut down. I mean, like I said, when I used to work in restaurants, we'd come to eat here 2-3 in the morning, and all the restaurants were open.
So it was still a chef's spot at that time.
It was, because there was no place. It was this or Chinatown. You had no choice. So this is the new H Mart.
H Mart.
Holy.
H Mart got
I mean, the entrance is bigger than the old store.
No, it's nice. Yeah.
And look at this, this is like one of my favorite places in the world, right in front of all this banchan. Talk about this in Korean food, what these dishes are.
Right now, this is banchan heaven, which is banchan is the Korean side dishes that you get at Korean restaurants. The free stuff.
But there's a lot of it. I mean, you go to these restaurants, sometimes you sit down and suddenly there's 8 or 9 bowls of that's on the house.
And when cooking Korean food at home, you oftentimes are making a couple mains and then you're gonna buy banchan because you don't have time to make 6 or 7 different banchans. Right. Which is why I love coming here so much.
So you have so many things. You have all these vegetables. You have some roe. Also, you have eggs. The varieties it really is endless. I mean, you just keep dried anchovies.
I was gonna say some candied anchovy things. I love those.
Burdock root. I mean,
which is delicious. I love that stuff.
You need burdock root in your life. I mean, it's amazing.
Who doesn't?
So this right here is the kimchi section. Literally, Korea's staple dish or national dish. Over 200 different kinds, but even here you can see about minimum 15 types of kimchi.
In the cookbook, we write that kimchi is not a noun, it's a verb. You actually kimchi things. You can kimchi all sorts of produce and vegetables.
Right now, ram's in season, so everyone's doing ram's, kimchi.
You can.
Yeah, so it's just kind of it really is, and once again, we exaggerate in the book, you really could kimchi really anything. So another dish that we're gonna do today, Mike, is for the book, quick kimchi, right? So we've really embraced this idea of walk-in kimchi. So what we do, we've been traveling around Boston, Philadelphia. So what we do, we just go into the kitchen, be like, hey chef, what do you have in your walk-in? We're gonna kimchi it. So I don't know what we're gonna kimchi until we get there. I kind of want to do the same thing. I want you to pick a veg or a fruit or whatever, and let's kimchi it today. Let's have fun with this one. I'm gonna pick a couple things.
Do that.
Maybe some radish tops.
All right, we're gonna kimchi this.
I like it.
I tasted the leaf. I like the leaf. It's already kind of funky and cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
That's our kimchi challenge for the day.
Yormu kimchi.
So we're on 38th Street, 7th and 8th, in a 4-story walk-up loft. We had to get all the gear upstairs. Where's the freight elevator? You tell us about this.
No.
But we did this for a reason, because you guys wrote this book. This is a great book, and you vetted all the recipes yourselves. You traveled around the country together, did the whole K-Town all over America, and then to do the recipes, you basically did what we did today. H Mart to here, on foot, in this kitchen.
Tested a lot of recipes in this, as you can see, state-of-the-art kitchen.
So he's a chef. So John George, David Chang, Momofuku. And then I'm coming upstairs and I'm like, this will be interesting. So I got a pretty decent kitchen in New York. And I'm saying, oh, it's not that bad a space. It's kind of big, you know.
No, what, you don't know anything about the electric
And
stove.
then I turned around and I'm like, oh my God, the stove's electric? Are you kidding me? This is like grandma stuff.
Yeah, ghetto,
Like,
ghetto,
it turns red and maybe water boils if you wait.
I was
So-
doing a little prayer on my way up here.
In order to prove that these recipes can be done at home, we're gonna do them in home, in this apartment today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the point of doing it in this restrained setting. We want to show that Korean food can be made anywhere, and really a lot of it's one pot cooking.
So we're gonna do a little bit of jjajangmyeon. I don't have the right pots either.
I was noticing. We're not going to go into this. This isn't Martha Stewart. Apparently, no. Hold on. We have color. Red's usually
red
good.
is good.
Something
Red
shorted
means
out
hot.
there. Red means hot.
So the stew is takdoritang spicy chicken stew. My mom's recipe. It's actually the first recipe I've actually ever learned how to make.
Go mom.
Go mom.
Go moms everywhere.
And just reiterating the point of like that one pot stew, right? That
Onions,
potatoes,
carrots,
yeah,
it's a
nothing.
chicken.
This is legs,
Okay.
and it's like a kind of a cool cut for me. So that fits kind of. So this, add a little bit of the sauce. I'm marinated with garlic, a little bit of black pepper, that Korean chili paste gochujang that we keep talking about, a little bit of water.
And cool about dakdoritang is that this isn't like one of those really funky fermented soups. It's like more sweet. It's got like a lot of heat in it.
While that's going, I'm gonna start a quick kimchi. Regular cucumber.
Those would be Kirby cucumbers.
This is Persian.
Persian.
You know, little salt, sugar if you have, and you just let this one go just let it sit, let that water come out. I have a quick kimchi marinade in our book, which is super simple. Literally every element that's in actual kimchi marinade. So this right here, it's very funky. Definitely taste that. It's got a good amount of salinity to it.
It's got freshness though, right?
Yeah, okay, but this has to sit for a little bit.
Pull the water out.
Yeah. So this I'm gonna leave alone.
All right, we'll be back to that in a minute.
Yeah, you gave me
I gave you something weird. I don't know if I
some little
thought.
young radishes.
Because I kind of like, radish is typical daikon, radish
Yeah.
is typical something you see kimchi. But this one had the leaves too,
Yeah.
which I thought would kind of make it.
I think I'm gonna blanch these leaves.
This was our chef's challenge.
Yeah,
You're the one that
Top chef.
you suggested this,
I
man.
suggested it. I may regret it after I taste it. I don't know. We'll see.
Shocking it now?
Yep, this is the very CIA
Very
approved,
John
shocking
George.
technique. Kimchi takes about, it ranges from a week to 3 weeks to a month to a year.
Depending on what you're fermenting, what the temperature is.
Exactly. But we just wanted something, something a little bit more approachable. And I think we found this recipe and we loved it. And we had a lot of fun with it as we traveled.
Yeah, I mean it really plays into kimchi as a verb. You know, we really think that
Kimchi, right, the kimchi things.
Yeah, exactly.
Give
You
it the
want
kimchi
kimchi
treatment.
things. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the through lines of this dish is the pork. It really should taste porky, and you see that there's a generous amount of belly in there.
So I'm just rendering out all that fat.
I'm stoked. I think the reason I'm doing this show, honestly, I want to learn how to make this at home. This was it. It was either this or I had to watch your video or come to your cooking classes.
Or read our cookbook.
At the Gustibus. No, but I want to see if it works, man.
I'm gonna add a little, what I'm gonna add?
So you get some ginger in it. You get some
Yeah.
diced ginger.
Ginger,
I
some
didn't know ginger
garlic.
was in that dish.
Nice and easy. We don't want to cook it too much. We just want to release a lot of that aroma. So right
Right.
away, I'm gonna add the onions.
It'll stop the cooking of the other stuff, basically.
As you can see, this is very organized. And,
Yeah, everything's been weighed.
everything's been
portioned
weighed,
out.
and
Don't worry about it.
Zero waste. Dan Barber would be happy.
some potatoes.
So there is potato. I remember potatoes.
Yeah.
Those are raw potatoes diced.
Raw potatoes, yeah.
There's one or two Korean ingredients that you need, but then outside of that, it's the larger of the West.
And you go to zucchini because they cook super fast. They're like all water.
This right here is a chunjang, which is a black bean paste.
We saw that when we were looking at the beans.
Exactly,
There was that paste, there was the soy paste, and then
Yep.
the gochujang.
Yeah, and this soybean paste we kind of toasted a little bit in this fatty oil. So
What's the spice level in dakdoritang? What do you think? What do you go?
today is
He'll tell you in a second.
What do you got? 6?
fine.
Woo! Yeah, I know. I think you went 9. I
Yeah.
tasted the marinade. I was like, that's like 9 or 9
Yeah,
and a half.
And he put a good amount of it in.
my-
yeah.
That wasn't
Oh, yeah.
like a shy teaspoon.
No, this is the
That
way
was
to
like
do it.
a couple ounces.
Yeah, no, it was good.
So a fair amount of water in there.
fair amount, yeah, because it's gonna reduce down. And
Right.
Yeah.
And so that you can use that kimchi base again that's in that can, bro.
Exactly.
We were in Hawaii a
Kinda
while back, weren't
We're
we?
in Hawaii. Go for it.
Yeah.
Snacks. It's called Scooby Snacks.
Yeah. One of the sweetest fruits around in the whole.
Yeah, and good acid to
my
tighten
God.
up the sweetness. I gotta make that paste. I can't make that soon enough. You keep that at the restaurant, chef?
No,
Just for your house?
just for my house. It's really one of those like housewife secret type things. If you need a quick kimchi on the fly. And Korean food is a lot about that. A lot of the marinades, every one of my marinades sits for a day before I serve it. And I realized like Korean food, a lot of it, time really is an ingredient.
Has it come to a boil yet today?
I don't think so.
I kind of like the cucumber too. There's something about cucumbers that are like a cool flavor, like to have that effect on food. So this dish has so much gnarly richness and fat and pork and funk. The cucumbers kind of clean it up. Deuki Hong. What's the name of the restaurant? One more time. How do you pronounce this name?
Baekjong.
Oh, I can't say that. Baekjong. 1 East 32nd Street, steps off 5th Avenue, north side of the block. Killer. All the bad boy chefs have been there. I'm telling you, watching this thing blow up last year, I'm like, what are they doing? Who is this 25-year-old wunderkind in K-Town?
What is this kid doing?
And then the book, how epic. You guys travel around the country, visit all those Korean restaurants, and then bring these recipes home.
Yeah.
With a book that works. And this was the lab. This was
Yeah.
where the recipe development took place.
State-of-the-art labs.
State of the art,
Yeah.
baby. We got the
Yeah.
we got the luxury refrigerator, the super luxury electric stove,
You know it.
the sink, and ample workspaces.
Absolutely, as you can see.
This is how cookbooks are made in 2016, right there, in kitchens like this.
All you potential authors, take that to
This
heart.
is the way it's done.
Keep up the great work, seriously.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
guys.
us, Mike.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
It's awesome, man.
Continued
Thanks
success.
a lot. Yeah, appreciate it. See some of this?
Let's eat some of this. Now we can make a
Now we
mess.
can make a mess.
Mike Colameco's Real Food is brought to you by the continuous, generous support of the following underwriters.
Extra virgin olive oil from Colavita, an Italian family brand.
Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line, designed for preparing meals at home.